Have you ever ran out of dinner ideas? Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Evita Cooks and Preps with another quick, easy, and delicious dinner recipe. It's Friday afternoon, and after a long week, all I want to do is get dinner on the table as quickly as possible. And I have prepared for you a meal that you can get on the table in under 30 minutes. And in the pan I have some extra virgin olive oil that I'm preheating, and I'm going to be adding some diced onion. And to the onions I'm adding some red chili flakes. These are optional, and I just realized I've not told you what I'm making. Well, today I'm making tuna patties. Of course, this is my version of the recipe, and I'm sauteing some onions and red chili flakes that I'm going to be adding to the tuna patties. And I always do this first because we have to allow the onions to cool down before adding them to the tuna. And I'm gonna give this just a minute or so. And of course I'm using canned tuna, and one of the reasons why I'm using canned tuna is because it is an item that I have in my preps. And the meal that we're making today, it's based on ingredients that more than likely you have in your pantry and in your refrigerator. So let me just move these things to the side so that we can talk about the tuna. And I'm using, like I said, canned tuna, and I like to use chunk tuna. You can use whatever brand of tuna you like. I have two different types. Tuna is one of those items that I always keep in my pantry and in my emergency food storage. So I know that I can always go in my pantry and I will find canned tuna. So anytime I'm in a pinch and I want to make something quick, this is my to-go meal. And the tuna that I'm using is tuna that is packed in water. That way you can always season and prepare the tuna any way you want without the excess oil. And to the onions, I'm going to be adding some bell peppers. And this could be the pepper of your choice. I like the combination of red and green. Not only is this meal quick and delicious, but it's also very inexpensive. And with 2 cans of tuna, you can very easily feed between 4 to 6 people. I'm gonna let the onions and pepper go for about 30 seconds. And in addition to the peppers, I'm going to be adding some onion tops. And these are the tops of the onions from my garden. Okay, so the onions are ready, and I'm gonna turn off the heat and allow the onions to cool completely, because I need them to be cold before I add them to the tuna. Okay, and to season the tuna, adding some all-purpose seasoning. In addition to the all-purpose seasoning, I'm adding some lemon pepper seasoning. Lemon, as you know, goes very well with fish, and since we're making tuna patties, the lemon pepper is just going to give it a lovely flavor. For your convenience, I always give you guys a complete recipe with measurements. But the truth is that to this tuna patty, you can add the flavors that you enjoy. These happen to be some of my favorite, and I like to switch it up sometimes, especially when I make salmon patty. I change the recipe slightly. It just depends on what we have on hand or what we're in the mood for. Today I have some limes from the garden, and I'm adding some of the lime zest. That's gonna add even more flavor to the tuna patties. Again, use what you have on hand and the flavors that your family likes. Okay, I'm also going to squeeze a little bit of lime juice for added flavor. I enjoy the lime flavor as well, so I'm squeezing just a little bit of the lime right into the tuna along with the lime zest. Okay, let me check. The onions are cool. Look at how lovely it looks. And if you're feeling extra lazy and you don't want to go through the trouble of making the tuna patties, you can stop right now and serve the tuna over some salad and call it a day. Since we're making a patty, we need a binder so that we can shape it into a patty. And I'm using some Dijon mustard. That's going to help bind the patties. It's also going to add more flavor to the patties. I'm not a fan of yellow mustard, but I love Dijon mustard. At this point, you can taste it if you want to adjust the seasoning, because the next 2 ingredients that I'm adding are raw, starting with the cornstarch. The cornstarch is also going to add as a binder. And I'm going to be adding 1 large egg. And remember, if you're using fresh eggs, always crack the eggs separately, just to make sure. Oops, this one is definitely an extra large egg. And I'm not adding the breadcrumbs just yet because I want to see how moist the patty is. Depending on the size of the egg or the internal temperature of your home or how humid your house is, sometimes you need more or less breadcrumbs. So it's always best to add it gradually. Let me grab the fork because it's probably easier with the fork. Okay, yeah, much better. For the breading, you can use crackers, flour, panko breadcrumbs. I'm using a combination of both panko breadcrumbs and also some crushed cornflakes. And these are just plain cornflakes that I crushed finely. And I have about 1/3 of a cup of cornflakes here. The cornflake is going to absorb some of the moisture from the egg. What we're looking for is for the tuna to have a consistency that it will keep the shape of a patty. The last thing we're going to do is form the patties. Now, if you want your patties to be a little bit crunchier on the outside, what I like to do is shape the patties and then roll them over some panko breadcrumbs. That's going to give you an extra crispy tuna patty. But that's optional. Okay, this looks very good and we're ready to shape the patties. Like I said, you should be able to get about 6 patties out of this. It just depends on how big you shape them. I'm going to be using an ice cream scoop to measure it. That way we can keep them as even as possible, okay? And I dipped it in some cold water because I don't want the tuna to stick to the scoop. And I'm gonna dip my fingers into the water as well. It's already keeping its shape. And I'm just gonna press it like so. And just like that, we made our first tuna patty. Now, I like mine thin, but you can make them as big or as thick as you want. I'm gonna drop it into some panko breadcrumb, and that's gonna give me a crispier patty, okay? This is optional, like I said, but I love the crispiness that the panko breadcrumbs adds to these tuna patties, okay? Check it out. Perfect. Let's do one more. The tuna patties look lovely, as you can see. I'm only cooking for myself today, so I'm going to show you how I like to enjoy these tuna patties. And I'm preheating the skillet on medium-high heat. And to the skillet, I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And very gently, I'm going to place the patties on the skillet, like so. The pan is not that hot, but we don't want it to be too hot because we don't want to burn the patties. I have these fresh ciabatta rolls that I'm going to be toasting alongside the patties because I'm going to be making myself a sandwich. I made myself this lovely condiment that I'm going to brush on the ciabatta rolls, and that's going to add another level of flavor to these delicious tuna patties. Let's check on those rolls. They're looking good. And I believe the patties are ready to be flipped. Be very gentle so they don't break on you. Look at that. Lovely. Very nice. Oh my goodness, it almost looks too good to eat. Just like that, within minutes, we have made a spectacular easy and delicious dinner. If you agree, let me know your thoughts in the comments below the video. For more easy and delicious recipe ideas like this one, consider subscribing to the channel, like, share, and comment for the YouTube algorithms, and activate the bell so you never miss out on any of my videos. Until next time, I'm Evita, cooks and preps. Bon appetit! You really have to try it.